One second, let me also get into the system. Okay, so let's start the COPA, controlling profitability analysis. So this is simply we call it as COPA, controlling profitability analysis. This is basically a management reporting. When we see our accounts books, there are three types of accounts basically. One is financial accounting, second one is cost accounting, third one is management accounting. What basically management accounting talks about? Management account basically gives us the reports. There are different types of reports. So basically the COPA will deal with such kind of reports. Those are totally internal reports to the organization. Those are simply, we call it as efficiency related reports. How can I say efficiency? On what are the measures that we will take, and on what basis I can say this particular person is working effectively or this product is giving more profit? So there are different options we have. I mean, not exactly the option, there are different ways to figure out which product is giving more profitability. So that is what basically the profitability analysis talks about. Now, for example, let's say we have operations in Asia, we have operations in North America. Let's say we have operations also, we have operations in Australia, New Zealand. Okay, so we have operations in these three different regions. Within Asia, we have operations in Singapore, we have operations in India, we have also operations in um, other Asian country, let's say Malaysia. And in North America, we have different places where we have got our operations, different countries. Okay. And in Australia also, of course, we have different other countries. Within India, let's say we have operations in Mumbai. There is a place called Mumbai. And we have operations in Hyderabad. Also, we have operations in Bangalore. Okay, we have operations in three different states, I say. Okay, simply in other language, we call it as, in SAP language, we call them as regions. Within Hyderabad, let us say we have operations in three locations, A, B, and C locations. Okay, these are the three different locations. And within B location, we have sales employee. These are called locations and sales employees. Let's say within B location, there are two sales employees, A and B. And each sales employee is selling our products. What are our products? So A is selling basically X, Y, and Y, Z. Let's say there are two products that salesperson A is selling, and B is selling A, B, and B, C. Let's say these are the two products that A is selling, whereas the other two are being sold from B. Okay, so these are the product, these are the sales employees, these are the locations, these are the regions. Okay, and these are countries, and this is another kind of region, I would say, or geographic location. Okay, so we have operations in this way, and I mean basically the product is being sold by the sales employee, and this is what our hierarchy. Now I want to know the product, whether a particular product is efficient or what. Now what I need basically what is my profit this product is giving, what is my profit this product is giving, and what is my profit these two products are giving. Just if I say this is my profit, let's say 10,000 is my profit and 50,000 is my profit, and here five or else I will say 25,000 is my profit, and here 1 lakh is my profit. Just based on the number, we cannot say product BC is giving more profitability, more profitable. Just on the number, we cannot say that. Okay, so we need to figure out the profitability. What does that mean? That we will discuss now. Let's say uh, here we have 10,000. Here I said 10,000. Let us say the number of units that we sold 1,000 here, whereas here we sold, let's say 200. Here we sold 1,000, and here we sold 25,000. The number of units that we sold, number of units sold. What is the profit per unit? What is the profit per unit? Here it is. Here it is 10, here it is 250, 25, and 4. When you observe over here, among these, though the amount is more here in this case, but it is giving lesser profit. It is giving lesser profit. Whereas we are selling 200 units only, but we are getting a profit of 250 on each unit. Okay, now which employee, which product, and in which location, that is what we need to understand. So YZ is the product that is giving more profit, and A is the sales employee who is selling this YZ product, and it is happening in this location B, the location called B, within Hyderabad region, within country IN, and within this geographic location. So it means in Asia, in India, in Hyderabad, location B, sales employee A, and product YZ is giving more profit. It is more profitable, though the amount is showing as just 50,000 when you compare with 1 lakh, but still it is giving high profitability. High profitability, 250 it is giving. Now what business will do with this information? What kind of the decisions that management will take? Management will try to concentrate more on this product because it is giving more profitability. Instead of selling here 25,000 units of 1 lakh, he will, what the management will do is they'll divert the amounts, and whatever the investment it is required on this will divert, not fully, maybe partly or half, that will be diverted to this. Because there are certain situations, right, even the product is giving us loss, but still business will keep the product in the market in order to maintain the diversity. Okay, so there are different there are different parameters in order to keep certain products, even though the products are giving losses. That's altogether a different criteria. So that is not we are discussing over here. Our main focus is on the profitability. Okay, so what the management will do is the management will try to invest more on this product, encourage more to this sales employee. This is one way. What is the other way? It will see why AB is not giving that much profit, why XY is not giving, why BC is not giving that much profitability. What are the various steps that we will have to take? It means how to reduce the cost, how to increase the sales amount. It means the selling price is not within our control, but still, how can you make the price determination? How can you make the price determination on your own? If you are monopoly in the market, you can able to do, but in the case of competitive market, perfect competition, so it is very difficult for you to increase the sales value. So we need to see what are the various ways that way we can increase our profitability. How to reduce the raw material cost, how to reduce the labor cost, those kind of other parameters that management will think in order to improve the profit on the whole of the organization. So this is what basically one of the examples why we go for management reporting. In our finance, it does not give. It gives on the whole, what is my profit in the case of Hyderabad region, right? It gives me this information, or it gives me at a country iron level, what is my total profit. That's it. It does not give more than that. Maybe there are let's say in a particular region, Hyderabad, we may have some 100 products. Out of those 100 products, 20 are giving losses, 20 products are giving losses, remaining 80 products are giving profit. So now on the whole, if you see, the Hyderabad region is giving profit. It does not mean that all products are giving profits. Okay, when you cut down the losses products, as I mentioned in my example, 20 products are giving losses, 80 products are giving profits. Okay, now let us assume each product is giving $1,000, so 80 products giving profits. 80 into 1,000 will be $80,000, whereas each other products, I mean 20 products are giving loss of $1,000 each. It means total $20,000. What is my total profit, net profit? 80,000 profit, 20,000 loss, total it will be 60,000. On the whole, if you see 60,000 profit, we say okay, it's a good. But typically when you go into deeper, you will understand 20 products are giving losses. When you cut down the total 20 products from the manufacturing part, you will have 80,000 profit. That is what management accounting talks about. Management wants that information. The outsider people, such as government, income tax, auditor, all those people will see at a Hyderabad level. At Hyderabad level, they just want what is the profit of the particular year, where the records are proper, and based on that, they will impose the tax. But typically, from the management perspective, in order to be in the market, in order to develop uh, develop the market, in order to expand the market, we need these kind of decisions. Okay, now in our example, as I said, within Asia, within India, within Hyderabad, within location B, within sales employee A, with product X to YZ, we have that some amount of profit. So that is what COPA will tell. That is what we will be dealing with in COPA. So with the help of COPA, we can get our profit at that level. Now, when you see here, Asia, India, Hyderabad, location B, sales employee A, product YZ, each one of them is nothing but characteristics. Characteristics. So Asia is one of my characteristics. India is my one of my characteristics. Hyderabad is one of my characteristics. Like each one of them is considered as a characteristic. Now the profit, the amount that you got 50,000 of total of 200 units, which is nothing but 250. This profit, how do you get the profit? The profit, in order to get a profit, you need to have a income statement. First, you need to have sales, less discounts or something. Okay, then subtract expenses pertaining to it, then thereby you will have net profit, right? You will have net profit thereby. So this net profit is nothing but your this profit. Now, in order to get the net profit, we have certain calculations. Each one of them is nothing but your value field and account, nothing but cost element. So why I'm saying account, why I'm saying value field, if we are okay, that we will see little later. So basically here, the profit we are getting here, this one, this is based on certain sequence. There are certain steps involved in order to have the net profit. All those are nothing value fields. It means sales is our one of our value field, discount is also one of our value field, and all other expenses such as office administration, sales, rent, whatever we call it as, all those expenses are nothing but our value fields. Or in other way, I can say sales is one of the cost elements, discount is one of them, then expenses such as office, rent, each one of them is considered as a separate cost element. So it can be a cost element or value field. So because of that, I did mention both of them. So the combination of characteristics and value field is nothing but data structures. We call it as data structures. So characteristics and value field is nothing but data structure. I'm saying specifically that characteristics and value field are considered as a character data structure. I'm not saying characteristics and account is nothing but a data structure. So data structure means characteristics and value field only. That does not include account. That does not include cost elements. So data structures. What are data structure? Data structure is nothing but the combination of characteristics and value field. Now here we have seen, in the Asia Pacific, Asia, geographic location, India, Hyderabad, location B, sales employee A, product YZ. Each one of them is nothing but a characteristic and the combination of this set. This is set in the sense, what is one set? Asia, India, Hyderabad, location B, sales employee A, and XY is one combination, one set. What is the other combination? Asia, India, Hyderabad, location B, sales employee A, YZ. This is another combination, another set. What is the other one we have? Asia, India, Hyderabad, location B, sales employee B, AB. Asia, India, Hyderabad, B, location B, BC. So the combination of characteristics, the set of characteristics, set, I'm saying set. It does not mean that Asia, India, Singapore, Malaysia. You will not have multiple in the same level. You will have only one. So Asia, India, Hyderabad, BBAB. That is called one combination of characteristics. That is called one set. That combination of characteristics, nothing but segments, profitability segment. We call it as profitability segments. Okay, so combination of characteristics, nothing but profitability segment. Any questions until here? Okay, now coming to the COPA. So we have seen what are characteristics, what are value fields, and what are cost elements. And the combination of characteristics and value field, nothing but the data structures. Right, coming to the COPA. There are two types of COPA. There are two types of COPA. Two types in COPA. First is costing based COPA. And the second one is account based COPA. Okay, accounting based COPA and costing based COPA. What exactly the difference in these two? The difference is value field and cost element. That's only the difference. There is no any other difference. That's only the difference. In the case of costing based COPA, we will be using value fields, whereas in the case of accounting based, here it is specifically saying account, it means cost element. Cost element based COPA, the other one is value field based COPA. Okay, using the costing based COPA, in costing based COPA, we will use value field, whereas in the case of accounting based COPA, we will use account. That's only the difference. I mean, when you go into the report level, you will see, I mean, what exactly, you will find some difference, of course, but that you will understand clearly. But anyways, I'll give a glance on that, but you'll understand clearly when we are actually preparing some reports. So value field may have one cost element or multiple cost elements. Value field may have one cost element or multiple cost elements, but since here cost element, you will have more details in the case of cost element. It means in the case of accounting based COPA, you will have more details, whereas in the case of costing based COPA, since you are using value based, a value field may have one cost element or multiple cost elements, so you may not have that much clarity when you compare with accounting based COPA. Now, coming to the old versions and S4. In the old versions, of course, in both the cases, in the old versions and in the new versions, in the S4 world, in both the cases, we have these two options. We have these two options. And apart from these two, we have one more also, combined based COPA in S4 system. Apart from these two, we have combined based COPA that we will see later. That we will see later. Now, in the old versions, SAP does not say any method to follow, but in S4, it is saying specifically to use accounting based COPA. Specifically, it is saying. And because of some limitations in the accounting based COPA, we have got a new method called combined based COPA that we will see later at the end. Because once you know these two, there is nothing. It is combination of these two. That's it. There is nothing in that. Okay, so that is what the SAP talks about. So in the new versions, SAP is recommending to use accounting based COPA, right? Accounting based COPA. So most of the S4 projects you can see on the accounting based COPA. The CFIN projects, S4 projects you can see on the accounting based COPA. Of course, still we have an option to activate both of them, but you will see most of the reports created using the accounting based COPA. Okay, so the basic difference here is, here we will use value field, here we will use cost element. What exactly the difference between these two? A value field may have one or multiple cost elements. That's only the difference. That's only the difference. We will go and see into the system, then you will understand clearly. Okay, so let me get into the system. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, one more thing that I want to tell you. When you talk about the organization structure, on the top you will have COPA, profitability analysis. Below to that you will have controlling area. Below to that you will have company code. Below to that you will have profit centers. Below to that you will have cost centers. Of course, we discussed this part already. You may have multiple cost centers under one profit center. You may have multiple profit centers under a company code. You may have multiple company codes under controlling area. You may have multiple controlling area under profitability analysis. Okay, so on the whole, this part is important for management level, because COPA will take care of all these. All these will go and ultimately sit here in COPA, in the management reporting area. Okay, so a COPA may have multiple controlling areas, so that is the reason why this has got more prominence from the business perspective. It gives more, the reports. Of course, these days, people are going for BIBW. Of course, BIBW also will give you these kind of reports, but some companies, they don't go for BIBW because, again, licensing issues. Uh, the business eh, has to spend a lot of amount on the system software licenses from SAP. So that's their internal call. But this is what basically I would say finance and controlling organization structure. Okay, so let's get into the system and we will see. So as I said, here basically characteristics and value fields, these two are important in order to have our operating concern created. Now, if you want the casting based COPA, then you might require the value fields. But if you just want to go by accounting based COPA, you don't require any value fields to be created. Of course, we have some standard. If you want, you can use them, or if you want, you can create your own if you want to go by casting based COPA. If you don't want to go by casting based COPA, you don't require to be there in the maintain value fields. Okay, now characteristics, maintain characteristics. As I said, what are characteristics? These are called independent. These are called independent, whereas value fields are called dependent. How I can say that? Now, so we got this profit. Let us say we have got this profit. This profit is influenced based on certain combination of characteristics. Suppose since it is India, we got this. Suppose when you pick up Singapore, you may have values, some other values. You may have differently. You may have these values differently. It means all these values are depending on what parameters that you are taking, what characteristics are you considering. So the amounts are depending on the value, amounts are depending on the characteristics. Amounts are depending on the characteristics. It means value fields are depending, cost elements are depending on the characteristics, the combination of characteristics that we are selecting. So because of that, these are called independent, whereas value fields are dependent. Value fields are depending on the characteristics. Cost elements are depending on the characteristics. So ultimately, characteristics are independent, value fields and cost elements are dependent to that. And one more thing, if you want to create your characteristics, if you want to create characteristics, we have standard characteristics and value field. Most of the times you don't require to create any new characteristic or any new field. But if you want, you can create. If you want to create any characteristics, remember one point, it should start with the WW. It is mandatory. If you don't consider WW, system will not allow you to consider. The system will not allow you to create that at all. That is in the case of characteristic. And in the case of value field, it should start with VV. Here WW, VV in the case of value field. Okay. And the other important point that we have to consider is operating concern. It has to have 4 digits compulsory. It has to have 4 digits compulsory. You cannot take special characters such as slash, underscore, those kind of stuff. Dollar sign, okay, those cannot be considered. It can be a alpha or numeric, any alphabetical or any numeric, but it has to have 4 digits. It has to have 4 digits. If you want to create 3 digits, system will not allow you to do. You can do that in the case of controlling area, company code, but not in the case of operating concern, because there is a certain logic for that. There are some reports called CE1 followed by operating concern. Suppose if our operating concern is 4444, then CE1 followed by 4444. This is one of the tables that gets created automatically as soon as the operating concern is created and assigned to our controlling area. Okay, CE1 followed by 4 digits of operating concern. Suppose if our operating concern is 1234, CE1 1234 followed by 4 zeros. That is what the table, and we have three more tables, CE2 followed by operating concern, CE3 followed by operating concern, CE4 followed by operating concern. These 4 tables are dynamic tables created as soon as we assign the operating concern to our controlling area. Indirectly, controlling area has company code. So indirectly what is happening? Operating concern is linked to company code, that we will see. So the condition is operating concern code should have 4 digits. It can be alpha or numeric. Okay, so that is what the operating concern thing is. Characteristic, if you want, you can create WW. Value field, if you want to create, we will have to use VV. Okay, so let us get into maintain characteristics. Path for this is IMG controlling, profitability analysis, structures, define operating concern, maintain characteristics, just execute. Okay, here edit characteristics, start, choose characteristics, all characteristics. I want to see all characteristics. Or if you want to see particular operating concern characteristics, you can see. But let us see all characteristics. And if you want to create, you can create any characteristic here that we will see later. Okay, I'm selecting all characteristics and selecting display. I want to just view. Just select display. You can have these many characteristics. If any characteristic is starting with WW, it means that is the created one. That is the user defined characteristics. So all these are standard characteristics. You have many standard characteristics you can use. Most of the times you don't require to create any. So there is nothing created here. If you see, there is nothing started with WW. So there is no created characteristic here. These are all standard characteristics. If you see, this is the code for characteristic and this is the name. Okay, we will see the table, those kind of things that we will see later. But what kind of characteristics we have? Sales group, sales office, team, sales, season year, product hierarchy, partner, metal group, ABC. There are different zone you have, bill to party, you have sales employee, right? We have multiple characteristics. Most of the times we don't require to create, but still if you want, you can create sales office, group, rotation, strategic business unit, right? Metal group, right? Customer, flight number, generic article. These are all different, different characteristics you have. But if you don't want these and if you want to create your own, you can create. We will see how to create them little later. So this is about characteristic. Now I'm just selecting one. Let's say I'm selecting industry, going into details. You can see the information relating to it. Okay, what is the table and what is the field? These two are important for us. These two are important for us. These are the dynamic tables that gets created, but these tables are important. Whether it is active or what, we'll have to see. Data type length, what is it a number or character, and what is the length that you want to consider? Okay, in this, what is the length? Industry, if I say industry, it has to have maximum of 4 digits only. Then data element, this is for ABAP related. I mean, they will consider based on this field, they will have, if they want to create any reports, they can use with the help of these. And this is just a description. And similarly, if you see something else, and you can have the same thing. Okay, so here table is not there here. In numeric, here it is numeric, and this is the table that is used for validating the data, and this is the description. Okay, so just to have an idea, I'm just giving some information. We will be creating characteristics, but the moment we create any characteristics, there is a concept called derivation, copa derivation. We need copa derivation. These are all the standard fields, standard characteristics. So system understands them clearly. I mean, when does a particular field gets filled in? But if you create any new characteristics, system does not understand because that does not have any table associated with it. right? So we need to say in these cases, this field should get filled in. So that logic, we call it as copa derivation. So if at all you have any created characteristics, copa derivation requires to be maintained for all of them. It does not mean that copa derivation applies only in the case of uh, what do you call created characteristics. It does not mean that the copa derivation is applicable only in the case of created characteristics. Copa derivation will also apply to the standard characteristics. You can apply to the standard characteristics available here, but primarily we will be using, I mean, that is compulsion. Here it is not compulsion, but whereas in the case of created characteristics, that is compulsory, that is mandatory. Without that, the particular characteristic will not get replicated, I mean, will not get filled in. So this is about characteristics. Now let us get into the value field. Maintain value fields path is the same thing, just execute. Going into all value fields, saying the same, display. These are all the standard. Let us see if at all we have any VV. We don't have any. Here also we don't have any. So typically we will have every value field, and if you want you can create your own, but it should start with VV. Okay, I'm just selecting any one. I'll say revenue. If I select revenue, go into details, what fields I have. This is just a description, and here you have summation. Aggregation is summation, average, last value, the latest value. So summation in the sense we will be taking the total. So that is what the summation. And here value field type is whether it captures the amount or quantity. That is what we will be mentioning. Data element, this is for the technical help. Okay, data element, the first four digits of the table followed by field name. Okay, so that's about the value field. If you see for any expenses, let me just select something called price variance. When we go into the details, you can see the amount, all these things. Sorry, again here revenue here. So data element, amount, and this information. Okay, so this value field is totally depending on the characteristics. It depends on the characteristic. Any questions on the characteristics and value field? So these are considered in our operating concern. Okay, so operating concern, creation of operating concern, maintain operating concern. Of course, I'm not going to do now. It will take some time for us to complete this. So maintain operating concern path is the same thing, just execute. It requires a 4-digit code. And here you have an option called costing based and accounting based. Of course, we will see combined based little later. Now, data structure, what does it mean? It takes care of both characteristics and value field. And what type of profitability analysis that you want to use. Okay, so you want to use costing based or accounting based. If you want, you can go for both of them. But at the time of creating the report, COPA report, you should mention while creating the report whether you want to go by costing based or accounting based. Because if you go by costing based, you require value field, and if you go by accounting based, you require account cost element. So that we will see later. and make sure the status should be in green color and here also in green color. Operating concern should have 4 digits. You cannot consider 3 digit, 2 digits or 1 digit. It has to have 4 digits. Any questions? Okay, so we will continue tomorrow, same time at 8 o'clock of my time. Okay, we will continue because creation of operating concern will take a while, at least half an hour to 40 minutes. It will take a while because you need to discuss what characteristics are required, what value fields are required. All those things will come into here in the maintain controlling area under the data structure. So we will discuss them. Okay. If you don't have any questions, we can continue tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay, so thanks everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank
So
you.
the next 3-4 days classes sessions are very, very important for us. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.